Welcome to our first in a series of 5 proposed videos designed to help families with some quick, basic understandings of addiction and the recovery process. A good place to start this conversation is with taking a look at the Serenity Prayer, a cornerstone of comfort, direction, and wisdom. The Serenity Prayer asks for help ridding ourselves of a multitude of sins and omissions in our lives. Simple, short, the Serenity Prayer has helped people sort through the knots and twists of addiction that have turned their lives into a maze of tangled and confused emotions and relationships. The Serenity Prayer helps people sort out where to focus their efforts to help ease the pain and suffering often associated with addictions. You'll see a copy of the Serenity Prayer on the screen, and if you will read that with me. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Let's take some time here to deconstruct the Serenity Prayer line by line and take a look at the power, support, and wisdom that is buried in this small passage. God, grant me the serenity. To start off with, the first line of the Serenity Prayer simply asks God for serenity. It is an acknowledgement that something is causing a lack of serenity or peace in your lives that we have been struggling with but have found no relief. Our lives have become unmanageable and we are appealing to a higher power for help. To accept the things I cannot change. So, once we've accepted and acknowledged our own limitations, what do we do next? At a first reading of the second line of the verse, it seems as if we're being told to step back and wait it out. This could not be further from the truth. We are being asked to accept that we cannot change some things, but not in such a fashion that we don't do anything, or let this process work itself out like it is some sort of a phase. It probably isn't. We have to realize that there are two distinct processes going on in our homes when addictions become part of our lives. First, there is the person who is actually struggling with addiction. This part of the problem must be dealt with by the person making these choices. Parents and loved ones of the addicted individual play a role in supporting the recovery process, but the addicted person has to come to a place that they want and will accept the offers of support and help. This is what we are talking about when we say, accept the things I cannot change. And this, as already mentioned, is only half the process. As parents, we have to let this part of the process unfold naturally, but there are many things that we can do while we wait and watch and pray. This is the courage to change the things I can. This is the part that addresses the many things you can do for your families in these challenging circumstances. Because we become addicted to trying to help and keep the addicted person safe, we lose track of the reality that as parents and families, we need help and support too. There are negative feelings that are created in the addicted home. We create a very powerful narrative and strong identity of failure and inability for ourselves. In this state, we turn to dubious measures to try to get back in control of our homes and our lives. If this sounds familiar do not despair. These are all stages of the stress response that can befall anyone in the same circumstances. We all create the home we want and need for our own safety, security, and comfort. Everything in our home is there as a representation of these core values and desires that we all grow and nourish. These core beliefs have been shattered, and stress begins to wear at the bastion of refuge, our home, our port in the storm. You've been parenting more or less successfully for years. You brought your child through many difficult stages. Most of the time they learned what they needed to do to succeed. Maybe all this turmoil has nothing to do with your lack of ability at all. Maybe it has more to do with your child's instability. I don't teach people how to parent. I show people that they are already more than capable of parenting their child and try to rebuild their confidence in themselves in the face of adversity. There's a lot more to this, so please trust that you need to find a way to handle the stress responses you will be suffering. And wisdom to know the difference. This is the last line of the Serenity Prayer, but definitely not the least. For many years as parents, we accept the responsibility of helping our kids solve their problems. We just do it for them. During the teenage years is when our kids are expected to do more and more things for themselves, to learn how to be adults. In a span of less than 100 years, our children have gone from being more or less independent by the age of 15 or 16 to being dependent upon us until well into their mid, even late 20s, to be educated enough to be adults. This rapid change has well outstripped our capacity to adapt and has left many of our children unable to learn how to be responsible, respectful, and engaged adults. We have restricted them in this aspect of growing up to become educated by forcing them to be juvenile. It is incumbent on parents to try to allow young people the opportunity to learn to be responsible and respectful, but not doing things for them. For good or for bad, that is how we learn to become engaged adults. It is not an easy time for anyone, but don't handicap your children by making their lives easy. Give them responsibilities and expect they will achieve them. Insist on respectful behavior and expect they will achieve that. This is a major part of changing the things we can. If we give our kids the opportunity to learn responsibility and respect, we will have avoided many situations that young people have struggled with. This brings us to the end of our video. Once again, thank you for taking the time to watch it in the middle of our busy day. I've tried to share some of my thoughts about the Serenity Prayer. Take heart if it seems like an overwhelming task to get back on your feet again. It's hard, but it is a completely doable task and more than worth the effort. Remember, if you were supposed to be a superhero in this, you would have been born with a cape. There is an expanded version of the script for this video available at our website. Please feel free to get a copy for yourself. Also, many of my clients tape copies of the Serenity Prayer to the refrigerator, carry a wallet, card, and keep one with them at their workplaces as a handy reminder to learn and say the prayer to themselves throughout the day. There will be 4 more videos in this series covering different topics. Keep checking back to see when they are posted. I hope to connect with you all again soon. Take care and take heart.